Hi, my name is Elizabeth Hauser, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 8 books that I have recently read in children's literature. My featured text for this book critique will be Finding Winnie by Lindsay Maddock, illustrated by Sophie Blackall. Who knew that Winnie the Pooh had such an exciting history? In this book, the author introduces the reader to Winnie, a real bear, and the inspiration for Winnie the Pooh, who was bought and raised by Harry Colborne, a World War I veterinarian, on a kindly whim. The story follows not only Harry's journey with Winnie, but also accompanies Winnie through her time in the London Zoo and her introduction to a special little boy by the name of Christopher Robin Milne. With illustrations that make the text fairly dance through the reader's imagination, this book makes an impressive case for how the decision of one moment can have monumental impact. This book is a picture book, and it was the winner of a Caldecott Medal in 2016. My first activity for this feature text is a second grade social studies lesson. After reading the book, Finding Winnie, the class will discuss Winnie's life at the zoo and talk about how Harry and other visitors to the zoo would use a map to help them find Winnie. Students will also explore a map of their local zoo and discuss how to use the compass rose to find their way around the zoo. They will discuss how maps are useful not just to find animals at the zoo, but to find your way around a strange room, new building, an unfamiliar city, etc. Students will work in groups to create a map of their classroom, labeling it with a compass rose and at least 5 symbols. They will then take pictures of their maps and upload them to a class Padlet. Students from a school in another country will also share maps of their classroom on the Padlet. Each class will post comments on the other class's maps, asking how to get different places within the classroom. Students will reply using the cardinal directions. Both classes will also discuss similarities and differences between the maps of classrooms in different countries and between their own maps. Then the class as a whole will make a video to share with the other class, discussing what they learned. This lesson is based on the Ohio Learning Standards for Social Studies, Grade 2. Maps and their symbols, including cardinal directions, can be interpreted to answer questions about location of places. My second lesson is a first grade science lesson based on the standard Living Things Survive Only in Environments That Meet Their Needs. For this lesson, before reading Finding Winnie, the teacher will tell students to watch for all the places that Winnie lives throughout the story. After reading the book, the class will discuss each of the places that Winnie has lived, placing a particular emphasis on her life at the London Zoo. Students will discuss what an animal habitat is, and that a habitat includes everything an animal needs to survive. They will discuss some common examples of habitats for animals, such as a fish and a cow. Next, the class will read together an informational book about American black bears, such as Black Bear, North America's Bear by Stephen R. Swinburne, and discuss what things black bears might need in their habitat to survive. They will then imagine themselves as zookeepers and consider the question, if you were to take care of Winnie, how would you make sure she had everything she needs to live? Using information from both books, they will work in pairs to record a video of themselves on Seesaw, explaining how to provide a good environment for a bear. Students should include at least 3 facts about what bears need to live in their video. The teachers will share an example video using a familiar animal before having the students work independently. Students will share these videos with their parents inside of Seesaw and also with kindergartners at their school before the kindergartners go on their annual field trip to the zoo. Here is a sample video on Seesaw that I created for students to view so that they have an idea of what their finished video should look like. You won't be able to hear the sound on it, but I hope that it gives you an idea of what the video should be. I read 7 other books in this text set. The first is How Much is a Million by David M. Schwartz with pictures by Stephen Kellogg. This is an ALA notable book, and it's appropriate for ages 4 to 8. One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams Garcia is set in the time period of the Black Panthers in the 1960s. Prior to reading this book, I didn't know anything about the Black Panthers, and I feel like I learned a lot through reading this book. It is a Newbery Honor book, and it's appropriate for ages 9 to 12. Moses by Carol Boston Weatherford and illustrated by Kadir Nelson is a picture book that illustrates the story of Harriet Tubman, particularly illustrating her relationship with God and how that drove her mission on the Underground Railroad. The illustrations really bring this book to life. and it's a Caldecott Honor Book. Snowflake Bentley by Jacqueline Briggs Martin and illustrated by Mary Azarian is about a boy whose love for snow inspired his life's mission. It's a Caldecott Medal winner. Rosa is a picture book by Nikki Giovanni and illustrated by Brian Collier. This book about Rosa Parks includes illustrations made of collage and watercolors, which lends a very unique feel to the book. What Do You Say, Dear by Cecile Jocelyn, with pictures by Maurice Sendak, is a Caldecott Medal winner. This book relates a series of improbable scenarios and what you should do to be mannerly in those scenarios. My last book is Noah's Ark by Jerry Pinkney. This is a Caldecott Honor Book and it's appropriate for ages 4 to 8. Thank you for watching my first book critique.